B&B spoilers. Sneaky Dylan convinces Will that Electra is cheating with her cousin. There's a messy love square brewing on the bold and the beautiful. Spoilers say it's anyone's guess who will be with who in Los Angeles by Valentine's Day. Will Spencer and Electra Forrester's relationship has endured a lot, but it's no match for a double attack from Dylan and RJ. Here's what's coming up next week on Bold and Beautiful. Dylan uses RJ's crush to her advantage. Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, has girl's intuition, and she knows that her homeless roommate Dylan has a crush on her man Will Spencer Jr., Crew Morrow. Electra isn't paranoid. The art teacher is clearly crushing on her new landlord. Rumor has it, Dylan might even have a diabolical plan to win him over. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Will Spencer, Electra Forrester, RJ Forrester, Brian Nicoletti will all be working at Forrester Creations, and the office is going to be getting a bit crowded. It won't be long before Miss Dylan, Sydney Bullock, notices the chemistry between Electra and RJ, and she can use it to her advantage. Previews hint a huge rivalry coming between RJ Forrester and Will Spencer Jr., like fathers like sons. Dylan can use RJ and Electra's flirting at work to her advantage, and might even encourage Will to think his girlfriend is cheating on him. In the meantime, she can give him a shoulder to lean on. Electra and RJ get close. In Dylan's defense, what she is doing is certainly self-serving and diabolical, but she's not completely wrong. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Electra will be paying a little too much attention to her cousin, and they will even bond over their mutual hatred for his ex-girlfriend Luna Nozoa, Lisa Yamada. Do you think that Electra and Will's relationship is doomed? Is Dylan going to get her way and get Will Spencer all to herself? The Bold and the Beautiful. A heartbreaking betrayal at the beach house. The sun may be shining over the Pacific, but a dark cloud has officially settled over one of Los Angeles's most beloved young couples. Today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered a gut-wrenching twist that has left fans reeling. The sad news is finally here, and it's worse than we imagined. Dylan, the woman Will, and Electra welcomed into their home out of the kindness of their hearts, has officially launched a masterclass in manipulation. In a shocking turn of events, the sneaky Dylan has successfully planted the seeds of doubt in Will Spencer's mind, convincing him that his devoted girlfriend, Electra, is engaged in a scandalous affair with her own cousin. The setup, from gratitude to gaslighting. It wasn't long ago that we were rooting for Dylan. After the trauma of the Luna Nozowa hostage crisis, and the shocking revelation that Dylan was the one who accidentally ran Luna over, viewers wanted to see her find redemption. When Will, Crew Morrow, and Electra, Linnea Grace, found out Dylan was living out of her car, they did the Forrester thing. They opened their guest house and their hearts. But as the old saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. For weeks, we've watched Dylan's lingering stares at Will, especially that infamous outdoor shower scene, and Electra's growing unease. Today, Dylan's gratitude turned into a calculated strike. By preying on Will's insecurities and Electra's private family history, Dylan has managed to turn a supportive household into a battlefield of suspicion. The big lie, the cousin scandal. The crux of today's heartbreak lies in a conversation Dylan staged with Will while Electra was away at Forrester Creations. Using vague sightings and accidental eavesdropping, Dylan spun a web of lies about Electra's relationship with her cousin. I didn't want to say anything, Will, because I know how much you love her. But the way she looks at him, the private phone calls, it's not just family affection. I saw them together, and it didn't look like cousins. Dylan's delivery was hauntingly effective. She didn't shout. She whispered with concern, making Will feel like she was the only one being honest with him. By the time the credits rolled, Will's face was a mask of devastation. The trust that formed the foundation of the Will-Electra romance has been cracked, perhaps beyond repair. Why this hurts so much? This storyline is particularly sad for the B&B community for 3 reasons. The innocence of the couple. Will and Electra were the refreshing couple. In a show filled with flip-flopping and legacy feuds, they felt grounded and genuinely in love. The betrayal of friendship. Electra defended Dylan when others were skeptical. Seeing her friend dismantle her life behind her back is a tough pill to swallow. The single white female vibes. Dylan is quickly becoming the new villain to watch, but unlike the unhinged Sheila Carter, her brand of evil is quiet, subtle, and much harder to catch. Character current state motivation. Will Spencer devastated and skeptical, protecting his heart from another betrayal. Electra Forrester oblivious and loyal, building a future with Will, while helping a friend. Dylan calculating and sneaky obsession with Will, and a desire for Electra's life. What happens next? As we head into tomorrow, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will confront Electra immediately, or will he let the poison Dylan planted fester? And with R.J. Forrester also showing interest in Electra, the timing of Dylan's lie is perfect. Any interaction Electra has with other men will now be viewed through Will's lens of suspicion. One thing is certain. The beach house is no longer a sanctuary. It's a cage where Dylan is the one holding the keys, the bold and the beautiful, a heartbreaking betrayal at the beach house. The sun may be shining over the Pacific, but a dark cloud has officially settled over one of Los Angeles's most beloved young couples. Today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered a gut-wrenching twist that has left fans reeling. The sad news is finally here, and it's worse than we imagined. Dylan, the woman Will and Electra welcomed into their home out of the kindness of their hearts, has officially launched a masterclass in manipulation. In a shocking turn of events, the sneaky Dylan has successfully planted the seeds of doubt in Will Spencer's mind, convincing him that his devoted girlfriend Electra is engaged in a scandalous affair with her own cousin. The setup, from gratitude to gaslighting. It wasn't long ago that we were rooting for Dylan. After the trauma of the Luna and Nozawa hostage crisis, and the shocking revelation that Dylan was the one who accidentally ran Luna over, viewers wanted to see her find redemption. When Will Crumoro and Electra, Linnea Grace, found out Dylan was living out of her car, they did the Forrester thing. They opened their guest house and their hearts. But as the old saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. For weeks, we've watched Dylan's lingering stares at Will, especially that infamous outdoor shower scene, and Electra's growing unease. Today, Dylan's gratitude turned into a calculated strike. By preying on Will's insecurities and Electra's private family history, Dylan has managed to turn a supportive household into a battlefield of suspicion. The big lie, the cousin scandal. The crux of today's heartbreak lies in a conversation Dylan staged with Will while Electra was away at Forrester Creations. Using vague sightings and accidental eavesdropping, Dylan spun a web of lies about Electra's relationship with her cousin. I didn't want to say anything. Episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivers a gut-wrenching blow that fans won't forget anytime soon. What begins as quiet suspicion spirals into devastating heartbreak as sneaky Dylan crosses a dangerous line, convincing Will that the woman he loves, Electra Forrester, is cheating on him with her own cousin. Yes, it's as shocking, disturbing, and cruel as it sounds. And the fallout? Absolutely brutal. From the first tense moments, the tone is unmistakably sad. There's a heaviness in the air. The kind B&B does best when betrayal is brewing and innocence is about to be shattered. At the center of it all is Will, open-hearted, loyal, and painfully unprepared for the emotional ambush Dylan has meticulously planned. Dylan's obsession turns dark. Dylan has never been subtle about his fixation on Electra. What once looked like harmless admiration has quietly mutated into something far more dangerous. Over the past few weeks, viewers have watched Dylan linger too long in conversations, read too much into Electra's kindness, and bristle whenever Will's name comes up. But today, Dylan's jealousy finally snaps into full-blown manipulation. Rather than confronting Electra or owning his feelings, Dylan chooses the most destructive path imaginable. He targets Will, the one person whose trust matters most, and plants a seed so vile it's almost unthinkable. Dylan doesn't just suggest Electra is being unfaithful. He crafts a twisted narrative involving her cousin, knowing exactly how shocking and destabilizing that accusation will be. This isn't just gossip. It's psychological warfare. A lie designed to destroy. Dylan approaches Will under the guise of concern. His tone is hushed, his expression conflicted, like someone who doesn't want to hurt anyone, but feels morally obligated to speak up. It's classic Dylan, and tragically effective. He claims he's seen Electra acting too close with her cousin. Lingering touches, private conversations, shared glances that don't look innocent. Dylan even hints that others have noticed, making the lie feel bigger, heavier, harder to dismiss. The cruelty of it all lies in the details. Dylan knows Will's insecurities. He knows Will has always worried about whether he truly belongs in Electra's world, surrounded by powerful Forrester connections and complicated family ties. By dragging a cousin into the lie, Dylan taps into Will's deepest fears, that he's the outsider, the fool, the one everyone laughs at behind closed doors. Will's world starts to crumble. At first, Will refuses to believe it. You can see the denial in his eyes, hear it in his voice. Electra has never given him a reason to doubt her. She's been honest, affectionate, and fiercely loyal. The accusation feels wrong, disgusting even. But Dylan doesn't push too hard. He doesn't need to. He simply lets the idea sit there, festering. He reminds Will of moments that, in hindsight, could be twisted into something suspicious. A missed call, a rushed goodbye, a family gathering where Electra seemed distracted. And slowly, painfully, doubt creeps in. This is where today's episode truly breaks your heart. Will is torn apart, not by proof, but by uncertainty. He loves Electra deeply, yet the images Dylan paints won't leave his mind. The thought of Electra betraying him, especially in such a taboo, humiliating way, makes him physically ill. Electra, completely unaware. What makes this story even sadder is Electra's complete innocence. While Dylan is busy poisoning Will's heart, Electra is blissfully unaware that her relationship is under attack. She's focused on her work, her family, and her future with Will. The cousin Dylan references, nothing more than a trusted family member, someone Electra has always felt safe around. There is no flirtation, no secret affair, no betrayal. But lies don't need truth to be powerful, they just need belief. Electra senses something is off when Will grows distant. His texts become shorter. His smiles don't reach his eyes. When she asks what's wrong, he brushes her off, clearly struggling with emotions he doesn't know how to express. Viewers can practically scream at the screen. Just talk to her. But that's the tragedy of manipulation. It thrives in silence. The confrontation that cuts deep. Eventually, the pressure becomes too much. Will confronts Electra, but not with the clarity or honesty their relationship deserves. Instead of explaining where the doubt came from, he dances around the issue, asking vague, painful questions about her cousin, her loyalty, her boundaries. Electra is blindsided. Her confusion quickly turns to hurt as she realizes what Will is implying. The accusation feels like a slap in the face. Not only is Will questioning her faithfulness, but he's suggesting something morally repulsive, something Electra would never do. Her voice shakes as she denies it, tears welling in her eyes. She demands to know who put such an idea in his head. Will hesitates, clearly torn between protecting his source and seeking the truth. That hesitation speaks volumes, and it devastates Electra. Dylan watches from the shadows. Perhaps the most infuriating part of today's episode is knowing Dylan is watching all of this unfold from the sidelines. His plan is working. The bond between Will and Electra is cracking, and Dylan doesn't have to lift a finger anymore. There's a chilling moment where Dylan overhears part of their argument. Instead of guilt, there's satisfaction, a flicker of triumph. This isn't about love, it's about control. If Dylan can't have Electra, he'll make sure no one else can either. That realization makes today's news not just sad, but deeply unsettling. Fans react with outrage and heartbreak. Unsurprisingly, fans are furious. Social media is already ablaze with anger toward Dylan and sympathy for Will and Electra. Many viewers are calling this one of the cruelest manipulations B&B has pulled in recent memory. And yet that emotional intensity is exactly why the storyline hits so hard. It taps into real fears, betrayal, lies, and the devastating impact of false accusations. Watching will crumble under the weight of a lie, and Electra suffer for something she didn't do, is heartbreaking in the most classic soap opera way. What happens next? The big question now is how long this lie will survive. We'll uncover the truth eventually. B&B always delivers the reckoning, but at what cost? How much damage will be done before Dylan is exposed? Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Even when Electra is proven innocent, the pain of being doubted so deeply may linger. And we'll have to live with the guilt of letting someone else's words shake his faith in the woman he loves. As for Dylan, his actions have set him on a dangerous path. Manipulation like this never stays hidden forever, and when the truth comes out, the fallout could be explosive, not just for Dylan, but for everyone caught in the crossfire. Final thoughts. Today's bold and the beautiful episode is a very sad reminder of how powerful lies can be, and how fragile love becomes when trust is poisoned. Sneaky Dylan's decision to convince Will that Electra is cheating with her cousin isn't just cruel. It's devastating in ways that will echo for weeks to come. As for Dylan, his actions have set him on a dangerous path. Manipulation like this never stays hidden forever, and when the truth comes out, the fallout could be explosive, not just for Dylan, but for everyone caught in the crossfire. Final thoughts. Today's bold and the beautiful episode is a very sad reminder of how powerful lies can be, and how fragile love becomes when trust. And the beautiful news is painfully sad, emotionally raw, and impossible to ignore. What began as a quiet, hopeful crush has spiraled into one of the most heartbreaking manipulations the show has delivered in a long time. Dylan, once seen as an intriguing and complex presence, has crossed a devastating line, using R.J. Forrester's genuine feelings as a tool to advance her own agenda. And the fallout? It's already shattering trust, bruising innocence, and threatening to permanently alter the emotional landscape of everyone involved. R.J.'s heart was never something meant to be played with. But today, viewers are forced to watch as sincerity meets strategy and love loses. R.J. Forrester, a heart worn on his sleeve. R.J. Forrester has always been different from the power players around him. Unlike Ridge or Bill, R.J. leads with emotion first, ambition second. He believes in connection, honesty, and the idea that feelings should mean something, especially in a family and industry that often treat emotions as currency. When R.J. developed feelings for Dylan, they were real, pure, uncalculated. He saw her as someone who understood him, someone outside the constant wars of Forrester creations, someone who listened rather than plotted. His crush wasn't about conquest or control. It was about hope, about finally letting someone in. That's what makes today's news so tragic, because while R.J. was falling, Dylan was planning. Dylan's shift from confidant to calculated player. For weeks, Dylan positioned herself as a safe place for R.J. She encouraged his vulnerability, leaned into his admiration, and allowed the emotional intimacy to grow. At first, it seemed mutual, natural, even sweet, but subtle signs began to emerge. The timing of her closeness, the way she asked questions, not about R.J.'s feelings, but about his access, his influence, his role inside Forrester Creations. And now, the truth is impossible to deny. Dylan didn't just accept R.J.'s crush. She weaponized it, using affection as leverage. Today's very sad revelation confirms what many fans feared. Dylan knowingly allowed R.J. to believe his feelings were reciprocated so she could benefit from his trust. She leaned on his loyalty. She nudged him toward decisions. She positioned herself as someone he wanted to protect. And in doing so, she gained access to information, to rooms she wouldn't otherwise enter, to conversations she wasn't meant to hear. R.J. wasn't just emotionally invested. He was unknowingly being used. There's something particularly cruel about exploiting someone's feelings when they're offered freely. RJ wasn't trying to gain anything from Dylan. He was simply hoping to be chosen. Instead, he became convenient. The moment that changes everything. The saddest part of today's news isn't just Dylan's betrayal. It's the moment RJ realizes it. It doesn't come in a dramatic confrontation or a shouted confession. It comes quietly, painfully, through fragments of overheard conversations, carefully chosen words that don't quite add up, and a growing awareness that Dylan's warmth disappears the moment she gets what she needs. RJ starts connecting the dots. The affection that surged when he was useful. The distance when he wasn't. The way she smiled not at him, but at the advantage he provided. And when that realization hits, it breaks him. Innocence lost in a world of manipulation. RJ's pain resonates because it represents something larger. The loss of innocence in a world that rarely rewards it. He believed feelings mattered. He believed people meant what they said. He believed vulnerability was strength. Dylan's actions send a brutal message. In this world, emotion is a weakness to exploit. And that realization cuts deeper than rejection ever could. Dylan's justification and why it falls flat. Some may argue Dylan did what she had to do. That survival in the Forrester orbit requires strategy. That opportunity doesn't knock twice. But intent matters. Dylan didn't simply accept help. She cultivated RJ's feelings knowing she wouldn't honor them. She allowed him to invest emotionally without ever intending to meet him there. That's not ambition. That's manipulation. And no justification erases the damage done when someone's heart becomes collateral. The ripple effect across Forrester creations. This betrayal won't stay contained. RJ's trust in others will change. His willingness to open up will shrink, and the warmth he brought into rooms full of egos may fade into guarded silence. Others will notice. Family members will sense something is wrong. Allies may start questioning Dylan's rise. And once the truth fully surfaces, Dylan may find that the doors she unlocked come with consequences she never anticipated. In Bold and the Beautiful, secrets never stay buried, they explode. A turning point for RJ. Today's very sad news may mark the end of RJ's innocence, but it could also be the beginning of his transformation. Pain changes people. Betrayal hardens resolve. RJ may emerge more cautious, more strategic, more like the Forresters before him. But fans can't help but mourn the loss of the young man who believed love didn't need armor. If Dylan thought she gained power, she may have unknowingly created a rival, one forged in heartbreak. Viewer reaction. Anger, grief, and heartbreak. Fans are devastated. Many saw RJ as the emotional anchor, the reminder that not everyone in this world is scheming. Watching him manipulated has sparked outrage, sadness, and deep disappointment in Dylan's choices. Social media is flooded with reactions calling the storyline cruel, heartbreaking, and painfully real. Because this isn't just soap drama, it's emotional truth. What comes next? The question now isn't whether Dylan's actions will be exposed. It's how devastating the fallout will be when they are. Will RJ confront her? Will she feel remorse? Or will she double down, proving that ambition matters more than empathy? And perhaps the most painful question of all, will RJ ever trust someone again? Final thoughts. A sad chapter with lasting consequences. Today's Bold and the Beautiful news is sad, not because of shock value, but because of what it takes away. It takes away trust. It takes away innocence. It takes away the belief that vulnerability is safe. Dylan used RJ's crush to her advantage, and in doing so, crossed a line that can't be undone. Some betrayals fade. Others define you. A turning point for RJ. Today's very sad news may mark the end of RJ's innocence, but it could also be the beginning of his transformation. Pain changes people. Betrayal hardens resolve. RJ may emerge more cautious, more strategic, more like the Forresters before him. But fans can't help but mourn the loss of the young man who believed love didn't need armor. If Dylan thought she gained power, she may have unknowingly created a rival, one forged in heartbreak. Viewer reaction: anger, grief, and heartbreak. Fans are devastated. Many saw RJ as the emotional anchor, the reminder that not everyone in this world is scheming. Watching him manipulated has sparked outrage, sadness, and deep disappointment in Dylan's choices. Social media is flooded with reactions calling the storyline cruel, heartbreaking, and painfully real. Because this isn't just soap drama, it's emotional truth. What comes next? The question now isn't whether Dylan's actions will be exposed. It's how devastating the fallout will be when they are. Will RJ confront her? Will she feel remorse? Or will she double down, proving that ambition matters more than empathy?